Hello, welcome back to Victories and Vengeances. We talk about all the great things, the bad things,
Mostly good. Today is going to be all good.
all good,
All good.
all the racist things, all the epithets. So,
All the epithet, all the slur.
so let's get down to the lead story. Did you know at the senior barbecue there's gonna be a water slide?
I did know,
I didn't know that.
and Lynette asked me recently, "Hey, did someone invite you to the baccalaureate and or the barbecue?" And I'm like, "Neither of those things."
Well, that's the lead story. Let's
That
go
is
on
the
to
lead story.
the other news.
Any chicks you're hoping to scope out at the water slide?
No,
Chicks in bikinis? No.
that's well, I never thought of it like that.
That's all I've thought of that event. That's the only perception I've ever held.
Personally, I was thinking about myself and like, what am I gonna wear? Cause I don't own like any swimwear. I just own one
Speedo,
pair.
skin tight, a speedo and a bodysuit.
Um, well, it sounds like one or the other. Anyways, let's get down to the real news. So you may have heard if you go to Benjamin Franklin, which most
Or if
people,
you look at the news,
yeah,
because it's on CNN.
CNN. My boy Dantes was on TV. So like, wait, what? Well, why you say it like that?
I mean, I don't. This whole thing. You go. This
To
whole thing
me,
is gonna.
that how should I even introduce this? So I'm just gonna give my point of view because it happened very fast when I was at school. So
Yeah, it was like what, first period?
it was first period happened at 9 o'clock, and by the time I got to second period 10 o'clock, everything was I already knew like a lot of stuff. There was a sit-in organized already, and it happened very fast and it's very confusing. I have a lot more questions than I have answers, but
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
so I was in not I didn't know anything that happened in first period because personally I was doing a project that was due in second period.
Because you were being responsible.
Being very responsible.
Franklin responsible.
Yes, being very responsible doing my work. But so I found out in second period, somebody told me, "Oh, Coach Ryan said the N word a couple times." I'm like, I just kind of laughed because he probably said it like mistakenly, like he thought he could. And that's kind of what had happened at first. So in first period, I don't know what class it was. He was a substitute,
Yeah.
and he was talking about basketball. And like, I hate playing with those mediocre niggas. He said AS.
Yeah,
I guess, yeah. So he was like, and then somebody said, "Oh, you can't say that." Then he said like again, I guess, and then then boy Derek, he flipped the table like
he got
he got very heated very
very heated.
fast, and he just kept saying it again and again, and like then he used the ER version, and then like that's where the controversy ensued. So from there, I feel like this story, like this event,
spiraled out of control.
yes, very quickly. People were calling for this man's job. They're like, and then at the sit-in that we had in the second period, they organized it very quickly. It went about an hour long. I only caught the final 7.5 minutes of it, but I got the
I
thrust
mean,
of it.
a lot of people missed it because of the government exam or whatever.
Yeah,
So.
it was kind of during school, so of course people. I don't know why. Why do you even do that? Like
They wanted to do it because they figured most people didn't have classes.
No, I get that, but they didn't announce it. Like they didn't have an announcement. Like, come on down, we're having a sit-in right now. It was just like, oh, it's all hearsay. The only reason anyone else knows about this is like through text message and Snapchat.
Yeah,
That was kind of odd to me.
that's how I found out about it.
Yeah.
A bunch of people shared it on Twitter, and I'm like, oh, this is not gonna end well for anybody.
I remember the first thing I hear is what's that girl name? I don't know. I forgot her name. I think it's Maya. She said, yeah, I don't think I just don't. The one thing I don't like about race in the school is that how do we have a white person teaching African studies? It just doesn't make sense. It's not relatable. We need to no white teacher. You need to have a black teacher teaching African history.
What?
I'm like, no, that's racism, you idiot.
Yeah.
And like I was standing right next to Mr. Swanson. He was like, oh Jesus. I'm like, I agree. And then like most of the stuff.
It's weird to hear Swanson call out his own name like that. Jesus.
Oh yes, God, he does look like Jesus. And most of the stuff there, well, pretty much all of the stuff there, it was benign to me. It's like the typical, you know, N word's not good. If you call a black person N word, if you're not black using the N word, you're saying to a black person, it stands for this. It's similar to saying calling a woman a bitch or calling a gay person a faggot. I mean, not similar in like the strength of the history,
Yeah.
but similar in that it's an insult to a
Yeah.
group of people.
Similar context, if not similar weight.
Yeah, But I just felt like, okay, all of this is benign. Why are we all clapping for each other? I just feel like it's a big circle jerk of just, I don't know what you would call it. Uh, it's I don't even know what you call liberalism, but I wouldn't call it under liberalism because
It's not really
it's
that.
not liberal. It's just being like black empowerment. But
It's
I don't
the
know.
the only words I can think of is a circle jerk of black power, but that doesn't feel entirely right.
Yeah, it's the I don't know, black group thing.
There were too many people saying like the same things. From
Yes,
what I saw.
the
And
same things for the last 50 years
it's
plus.
fine that they have those opinions, but
But you're not going to
if
act
you
on it.
if you wanted to have a real race forum, call in somebody that doesn't share that same opinion and have an actual dialogue.
I would talk, but
But yeah.
I was all the way in the back and I came in like the last 7 minutes. I'm like, hey, this N-word thing is not a problem. Like I get he's like I recorded a video last night
I saw that.
and I basically like I didn't prepare any. I just said like what was on my mind. And basically my main thrust of the video was this N-word thing is not that big of a deal. Yes, it's racist. He's a racist and I don't like racist people, but there's a lot of people I don't like, but that doesn't mean I can just steal their job away or just call them or put them in a box somewhere else and like, oh, some people were saying just fire him, put him in Alabama where everyone else agrees with him.
What? Do people not understand how due process works? Do they not understand what Franklin's teachers union was all about?
It's not even that to me. Like, if this guy is a racist
Yeah.
and you really think he is, I would like, hey, we're not gonna, we could fire him or not, but at least put him through some sort of training or like, what's it called?
Talk to him about what happened.
Talk to him, like, teach him why this is wrong. You can't do this, and you can from there. Once he learns a lesson, you can fire him or not. I personally, I think it's a good idea to fire him because at this point, people might not want to.
If he can be fired.
If he can.
That's what I mean about the teachers union, because
Yeah,
they're
well, he already got suspended, so maybe that's the extent of his punishment. But,
yeah, maybe that's as far as they can go for now.
But it does not, from like another point, from a kind of like a PR perspective, like in school
Yeah.
PR, it'd be like, what if Miss McKellar, a teacher that was loved by pretty much everyone, just said the N word, just like in passing, well not in passing because you can't do that in passing, but
Well, I
like,
mean, if she was like walking past Dantes and always like sup my N-word or what?
no, like she was like it was on topic, like kind of like Mr. Gonzalez did. He was talking about the civil rights movement and said the N word,
Oh, okay.
kind of like that. It was in context,
Like an educational
yeah.
or instructional setting.
But then again, that is different because Mr. Coach Ryan wasn't instructional or like it wasn't talking about. He just said it casually. So you know what? I think no matter what, I don't think that's okay. I don't know. I'm trying to find a situation. Cause at first I was thinking if Miss McKellar did this, we wouldn't be like calling for her head. We'd be like, okay, she made a mistake and we really need to fix that. You can't be doing that, Miss McKellar. We love you and all, but like Coach Ryan, since everyone already hated him, it's very easy to like, go to hell, get out of the school. We didn't like you anyway. But it's really different when you keep saying it over and over again and being like irreverent about using the word because he said it multiple times. Like Miss McKellar, that's just not her character. Like no other person would ever say it more than once.
Well, I mean, he was saying it like he had to use the word to defend himself.
Yeah.
Because if he stopped saying it, then he would have lost more than he already did. Because he wouldn't have had. I mean, I understand why he was saying it in the argument, because argumentatively, if you're defending your right to use a word, you're not going to stop using the word that you want to use.
Makes sense.
I don't. Yeah. I mean, I don't agree with him. He was an idiot for doing it. But one, he can't just be fired outright. There needs to be an investigation into the first 30 minutes of class or whatever. Before the video was taken. There needs to be an investigation into what exactly led up to that. And the school needs to take its time with that. They did the right thing by suspending him immediately. Because this happened Thursday. He was suspended Friday.
Yes.
They started the investigation probably Thursday, but they announced it Friday. They're doing everything right. But I heard people be like, the fact that there's legal action that can be taken but isn't being taken is disappointing. What legal action can you take?
It's freedom of speech for one. What are you gonna do? Sue him for saying the N-word? Like, under what grounds is that illegal?
Derek could sue. The kid could sue.
Yeah. What can the school do though?
The school can't. It depends on what the school finds in their investigation and what his stance with the teachers union is. Because if he's in the union, from what my parents have told me and the conversations we've had, because they were involved in the unionizing of Franklin, because they work with like the Teachers Federation or whatever.
All right.
They know more about it than I do.
Okay.
But it's like he can't just be fired outright. That would be a breach of contract. They have certain protections from just being fired immediately. So it all depends on what the investigation turns out. And you can't do an investigation into something like this in a day. This takes so much time and so much questioning and investigating.
By the time the investigation is over, all the people
we're all gone.
Well, yeah, we're all gone for one, like out of the school, and two, the people that really care about that really are speaking out about this now, they're not gonna care about it in 30 days. Well, in 3 days, really. I mean, by the time like a month from now, when we all graduate, we'll be like totally forget about this, and we might look back this one day, oh, that was a really wacky day, if that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I've seen people, Henry and Lindsay, got condescendingly talked down to by a particular African American student who's big into that thing. She was like, well, if Miss Lewis called a gay person faggot, then she wouldn't be fired right on the spot. Or she would be fired right on the spot.
Okay.
I think she said. But Coach Ryan only got suspended because he's white.
Well, that's
like, no, he got suspended because that's how these things work. Do you forget? And then she brought up the teachers union as to why Coach Ryan also wasn't fired. He's white and the teachers union. It's like, you realize that by bringing up the teachers union, you're also defeating your point about Miss Lewis or another teacher saying a similar thing.
Man, I still wish
Stop
we had
contradicting. Why are these people?
Because I wish the school was still going on, because Thursday was the last day, and like we really couldn't have a discussion about it. People who said stuff, and it was over. But now I want to talk to people like face to face about this, because there's like a lot of ignorance going around with the school. Because I didn't even know about teachers union thing. Like, that's a good point. Like, that totally like diminishes everyone's argument, like saying that he should be fired on the spot, because it just doesn't. For one, that's like irrational.
Yeah. I mean, I would need to know the specifics of the teachers union, and all their deals and stuff. But if it's like most teachers unions, you can't just be fired on the spot. There needs to be levels. There's a process. But the amount of people that are contradicting themselves, and I don't like that Coach Ryan said it. He's an idiot for saying it. I'm not trying.
He should know that he's white, and you're gonna even though you might be right in saying that we should all be able to say it. You have to know in the present place, you're gonna get backlash for that.
There are places, like if you have black friends, and you can say it like with your black friends when you're playing basketball or something, or you can say it with the black athletes on whatever team he coaches, and they're okay with it. Only say it with people that you know are okay with it.
They're not okay with it either. I don't know who he's talking to with that.
I mean, like, it's kind of like, you know what a ghetto pass is, sort of thing?
Black card?
That.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've been told it was.
I never know. Okay, that works.
But
too.
I got one in middle school. I was told, like, hey, Sam, you can do these certain things with us. Like, you're cool. You're one of us. I never did those things, but I knew if I were going to say some of the things that I would say, I would only say it there, couldn't say it anywhere else, or I would get murdered. I would die. But, like,
I'm just imagining you in middle school being part of the ghetto club, got a little do-rag on.
Well, I mean, it was ghetto for Lakeview.
So middle class for everyone else.
Yeah. What's the thing? About what Dante, the video for Dantes. That was interesting. It was eye-opening, but I still...
How so?
Did that conversation in the auditorium only revolve around the N-word? The use of the N-word?
It revolved around N-word, but more importantly, race relations in Franklin. That was the bigger story of it all.
Because if you're going to talk about race relations, you need to talk about Young calling himself Gook and Zipperhead all the time.
Wait, what does Zipperhead mean?
It's an incredibly offensive slur for Asians. I don't know if it's quite on the level of the N-word.
Where does that come from?
It's a Vietnam War thing.
Oh, okay. I never heard that before.
But
I'll make sure to use it.
Pardon my French, people that... But, like, if you're going to talk about the use of slurs and race relations, you need to talk about more than just black and white. You need to talk about black and Asian, white and Hispanic, black and Hispanic. Like you need to talk about more than just the 2 teachers that have said the N-word in a classroom.
You also need to take sociology to really know how ethnicity and race relations work throughout the world and throughout time.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of context. Like this is not the beginning when like 2 ethnicities clashed, and this is not like to say that we're quibbling over such a small like thing. I think race relations have been better than they ever have been in America. To say that we're fighting over vocabulary, I don't know.
And someone brought up cultural appropriation.
Jesus.
Like, it was cultural appropriation for a white person to say the N-word. And I didn't entirely disagree. I mean, I disagreed with the cultural appropriation because that argument is always stupid.
Yes.
But I didn't entirely disagree with the statement. It's just cultural appropriation is so dumb.
You could call cultural appropriation on literally, well, not literally
Anything.
everything, almost anything. 90% of stuff that's in our culture is mixed and mass of everything else a part of the world. Like that is a testament to the diversity of not only the city, the state, or the country, of the world that we live in. The same people that talk about racism and how rampant it is. You should use cultural appropriation as progress, because isn't that what we want? We want white people to do black people stuff and black people to do white people stuff, and let things mix and take the best of all of our cultures and make one thing. I don't know.
The point of culture is to spread
Yes.
and to not infect, but to be part of everything else.
Yeah, we call this the melting pot nation or whatever.
The Great American Melting Pot.
Yeah,
Schoolhouse Rock.
It's not, diversity is a good thing if you're into like equality and all that good stuff. Like you would think that would be the thing.
Yeah.
Like you can't turn around and be like culture appropriate.
White people can't wear dreadlocks.
Yeah, we can't
Despite
have
dreadlocks being invented by Mediterraneans and not black people. Just saying.
just saying.
But it's
you go ahead.
No,
I'm good.
Well, it's like if you don't want cultures to mix, you need to go to full segregation. But we fought past full segregation for a reason.
I mean, and it's too late for that. Like,
so if you want to regress to,
I remember like studying the census, and apparently like between like I don't know 5 and 10% of America is like considers themselves mixed race, and like that's just them considering themselves. There's even more people that are that and just won't. They'll just say they're white or black either because they don't know what to feel. But so like I mean, it's the cat's out of the bag with that one. Like we already each other from a genetic standpoint. We're 99.999 repeating. Genetically similar, but from a color standpoint, we're getting closer as well. So I mean, there's no point in like stratifying each other in this way.
If you go back far enough, we all originate from Africa.
Yeah.
So I mean,
all originate from Pangea.
There you go.
We all started from a speck of dust in the sun.
This whole thing is just a load of crap.
I don't know. But the thing I was talking about you before we started the video is like I felt conflicted.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was very cool that my friend Dantes got to be on TV. I'm like, oh, cool. It's a national story. I'm like, oh my God, this shit's a national story. This is like horrible.
Yeah, I mean,
on so many levels.
The people the students that went out of their way to spread it to as many people as possible are doing way more harm than good.
What do you mean?
Franklin could have cleaned this up relatively quietly, handled it in-house, dealt with Coach Ryan however they feel they need to, dealt with the students however they feel they need to. But now that CNN is involved, now that Huffington Post is involved, if you say I'm from Benjamin Franklin High School back in New Orleans, some people are going to be like, oh, that's the school where your coaches say the N-word repeatedly and maliciously. You sound like a bad person. Or you sound like you come from a bad school. Or, heaven forbid, someone got a letter of recommendation from Coach Ryan, and the school is just looking into that, and they're like, oh, who's this Coach Ryan guy that said you were a good character? You were a good character, you were a good student. Oh, he said the N-word repeatedly. His judgment's a little flawed. Like, I understand, this is a bit of a problem. I can see why you would want as many people to know about it as possible. But, wait. A lot more people are going to be affected by this than just Coach Ryan losing his job, or just Coach Ryan keeping his job.
I feel like it's like in the same way I do want to spread because I don't know. I guess it's kind of important.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We shouldn't like be so alarmist. Like we should take our time and like digesting things. But then again, that's just not how humans work. That's not how most humans work. And that's definitely not how the media works. We do not take things slowly and let the story develop.
Yeah.
Like, gotta sensationalize right now and milk it for all it's got. And then when the next part of the investigation come out, they'll probably maybe it'll come up again in the news, like kind of double dip with the story. But
I mean, I can't really talk because a couple of YouTubers that I watch were like, "Hey, I'm working on a video, but it's gonna be a while. So what's happening in the news?" I'm like, "Hey, a coach at my old school said the N-word repeatedly. You should talk about that." So I guess I'm kind of a hypocrite, but that's been my whole conversation. I was talking to Lynette about this when it first came out. I had no opinion. I wasn't at the school. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But people that are too close to the situation are saying incredibly inflammatory and irrational things. Like, you need to calm down, take a step back. I hope that everyone involved can take a step back in a couple weeks or a month or however long it takes them, and think about how they acted and understand what they should have done better. Because everybody can be better in how they handle the situation.
They're not going to.
I know they're not going to. Everybody keeps telling me, "Sam, you're crazy. They're not going to do that."
But you're right. They should.
They should. I'm as removed from this situation as I can be without, not knowing.
You know pretty much, if not more, or probably more than people that actually went to the school. Because, to tell you the truth, I talked to many. I was on my journalism mode. I was asking so many people what happened, and I got at least 7 or 8 different stories of what happened.
Same here.
And to tell you the truth, I just forget it. I'm gonna find the people who's in this class. I'm gonna go to them. I'm gonna talk to them. So I talked to them. I asked what happened. And I got the real story. I'm like, so a lot of people, one, don't even know what happened, and two, have no context to where to put this in historically, or like what you said with the teacher association thing, teachers union, and so it's just an overall clusterfuck situation.
I was talking to Young, and he's like, "Oh, Coach Ryan said the N-word 10 times." I'm like, 10 times, really? Because I only heard 3 on the video. I don't know what happened before the video, but in the video, and then someone said he was escalating the situation. He was sitting there calmly talking. Nobody was escalating. I mean, the student was yelling, but the student was consistently angry, and Coach Ryan was consistently calm. Nobody was escalating anything. They were just consistently bad crap.
So, where do we go now with this? I just feel really defeated because I know nothing's gonna change. I just hope they do something. They teach Coach Ryan, hey, don't do this. And from there, I don't really care what happens to their job.
I mean, it's like Dantes said. If you're a teacher and you want to keep your job, don't say stuff like that.
Yeah, don't say that. Look, that's the exact it's like the battle between your ideals and what you have the leverage to say. You can't if you run a business. Let's say you run an entertainment company, you run maybe the E Network.
Yeah.
The head of the E Network can only say so much of what he really feels. I got an actual example, Adidas.
Okay.
What is Steph Curry? Under Armour, that's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
The president of Under Armour was pro-Trump. You really can't be pro-Trump at that time because the main people that buy your shoes are against Trump. Are black or just liberal in general. That's main people that consume basketball products. And you just can't say that. You might feel that. You might be right to feel that way, but you still can't do that because you're
in fear. Well, it's not that you can't, but it's that if you're trying to be
if you want to make maximum money.
Yeah, if you're trying to be smart about it, there's a better time and a better place to do it.
If you don't want backlash.
Yeah.
In this case, he can't get away with that because the school has 31% black people, and one of the staunchest Black Culture Club members in that room. It just wasn't a smart thing to do. It's not smart any time to do, really, because that's the climate of the country. And another thing, white people, it's let us have this one. Let us have the N-word. You have everything else. The whole country is yours, okay? Little known secret, the whole country is yours.
You really don't want white people saying the N-word ever?
No, I don't. But don't fight that battle with black people that have that. I don't care about the N-word. I don't care.
But you won't be one of the people fighting for it?
Yeah, I won't be fighting either way because the N-word is on the same level of every other expletive.
For you,
for me, it is.
Okay.
But obviously, for everyone else, it's really different.
Yeah, it's a bit of a step above.
Hi.
That's kind of how I feel like.
Yeah. We're talking about the N-word. How do you feel about the N-word?
I love it.
Oh, my mom loves it. I got a guy for you named Coach Ryan. Oh, she knows about it too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. What was that?
What were we saying? Are we done with this story?
Kind of.
All right. We milked this.
I think of something, I'll talk about it in the stream.
So, hey, what time do I have to leave?
Close to noon, but I can leave a little after. Like 12:30 is fine.
Jesus, going like a 30-minute stream.
I just need to be there. It's 12:30 or 11:30. We have like an hour.
Okay. Well, we're gonna move on to other stuff that happened this week. Thursday was a terrible day, not just for that. It was the final day of going to school, besides like exams and stuff.
Yeah.
So the first thing I walk into school and I see this girl, very discreet. Keep going, keep going.
You see a girl, Mark?
Anyways, so I'm talking to my friends and my friend Donovan, he comes up to me, he said, I don't know if I should like be happy or I should cry, because he knows he's probably not going to see me like ever again, unless he comes to LSU, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, you also have the barbecue and prom and the
yeah, if he comes to that.
And graduation.
He's a junior.
Oh, he's a junior. Oh.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was already sad, so I'm probably not going to see him again. Then, like, a girl comes in, another junior girl, she was, like, talking about how she has she got a 0 for a test because somebody cheated off her test, and then another person cheated off that test. And the third person, the second cheater, got a 0 and a suspension because he's an idiot. It's like the second time doing it. But the first person that got their test cheated off of got a 0 too. Like, that doesn't make sense. And the second person got off with nothing. And the second person basically told the girl, hey, I didn't get in trouble, so why do I care? And I'm like, oh my god, she deserves to get punched right now. And I'm like, and then she came back, they were like, go talk to the teacher, try to get this fixed, because this obviously is not right. There's something went wrong here. So she went up and talked to him, and like, no, still a 0. She came back and she was crying. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, I mean, obviously the person who got cheated off of but didn't cheat themselves is going to say that they weren't cheating. And whether it's true or not, a teacher's going to be a little skeptical. Because of course you're going to deny that. You weren't caught cheating, but you were caught getting cheated off of. So how do we know you weren't giving them the answers on purpose? It's...
slippery slope.
Nobody, whose word do you listen to? Teachers or students?
I don't care about that. I was caring about the part that she cried and like, oh my god, I'm starting my day off.
It's a great start.
It's a great start.
And a great end.
And then first period, it was going good first period. I was talking to my friend High. We was watching wrestling together.
Ooh.
And I was having fun. I was doing my project. Then the N-word thing happened, and the rest of my day went off the rails from there. That's basically all the news for this week. It was sucked pretty hard.
Yeah.
Anything with you?
The N-word happened.
Besides that.
Nothing else. I don't do stuff.
Life.
I don't do life.
Well, this week I uploaded a lot of videos. Got Pokemon Showdown, Sonic Generations for all you beautiful people out there.
Yeah, I saw you had Pokemon Showdown Part 3, but I didn't see Parts 1 or 2.
Because I uploaded Parts 1 and 2 on like Wednesday. Both on one day. Because they're not very hard to make videos, so I'm like, get them all out there. Yeah. Really hope everyone enjoyed the Shadow of Mordor gameplay at 10 FPS behind my N-word commentary. Anyway, that's it for us. Right up, I guess we're going to stream next.
Yep.
Alright, comment, subscribe to all that good stuff. Share on Twitter and all that good stuff too. Bye-bye.